When it comes to superhero sagas, origin stories are often a necessary evil, slow, predictable, and laboriously structured. But what if we could skip the awkward teenage years and drop straight into greatness? That's exactly what the Fantastic Four First Steps has done. It doesn't waste a frame introducing us to Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben. Instead, it confidently invites us into their world 4 years after the cosmic dice were cast and their DNA rewritten. Here, they're already legends. Not yet gods, but more than mortals. And it's within this already humming machinery of wonder and dysfunction that the real drama begins. This is not just a film about superpowers, it's about legacy, love, and that dread we all know too well, the ticking clock of inevitability. Because looming above even the brightest heroics, literally, is Galactus. Not a swirling storm cloud of CGI nonsense, but a tangible, armored force of planetary hunger, voiced with bass-laden finality and an eerily serene gravitas. He doesn't just arrive, he descends, like an ancient reckoning, as if the universe itself is finally cashing in a long-forgotten debt. The film's visual language is a delight, a retro-futuristic 1960s that looks like it grew from Kirby's sketches and was painted by Mid-Century Dreams. Flying cars hum like jazz riffs across the skyline, and Baxter Building tech hums with optimism and analog charm. It's familiar but strangely aspirational. You feel the texture of this alternate Earth, like stepping into a pulp magazine where utopia is still possible. If only we could hold the cosmos at bay. And then there's the team itself. Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards doesn't just play a genius, he channels a man perpetually dancing on the edge of abstraction. His thoughts run ahead of time, tangled in equations that might just save the world or tear it apart. Sue Storm, portrayed with poise by Vanessa Kirby, is perhaps the emotional fulcrum. She isn't just invisible, she's often the only one who sees clearly. Pregnant and powerful, she's a reminder that heroism isn't always kinetic, it's often resilient, quiet, and fiercely intelligent. Joseph Quinn's Johnny Storm bursts onto the screen like a supernova with swagger. He's fire and youth and recklessness personified. Yet underneath all that bravado is a brother aching to matter in a family built on intellect and responsibility. And Ben Grimm, our beloved Thing, feels like he's stepped out of a Bukowski poem and into a fight. There's soul beneath the stone, and Ebon Moss-Bachrach brings out that aching humanity with every clavering punch. But the real curveball? The Silver Surfer, reborn as Shala Bal and played with ethereal command by Julia Garner. She's not just a herald, she's a warning. She's that dream you can't shake, even when you wake up. The film never lets her become a mere tool of Galactus. She is a being caught in the gravitational pull of morality and survival, and her confrontation with Sue, in particular, crackles with intensity. And then there's the whisper, the post-credits whisper that is, a certain metallic mask, a voice we've known but never in this shade. Rumor has it Robert Downey Jr. slips into the role of Dr. Doom, not as a villainous echo of his Tony Stark past, but as something more nuanced, more tragic, a Doom born of failure, perhaps even the collapse of this very Earth. If that's true, then the emotional connective tissue to the broader multiverse saga deepens and fast. Theories abound. Some say this Doom watched his universe crumble, left behind by a Fantastic Four too late to stop the inevitable. Others suggest this child, Sue's unborn son, might be Franklin Richards, a cosmic Omega-level being in the making. Imagine that. The birth of a child who might one day rewrite the fabric of the multiverse, and the parents brave enough to raise him while planets burn around them. What's most fascinating is how First Steps reframes heroism. There's very little glory here. The team isn't after fame or applause. They're holding together, quite literally, the threads of a fraying reality. They argue, they falter, but they never break. They're explorers of the impossible, scientists of hope, and parents of a future that may never arrive. The score lifts it all, vibrant, retro, sweeping. You don't just hear the music, it pulls you into orbit. There are no flat moments, only rising pressure. It's a countdown, not just to a battle, but to a reckoning. Whether Earth survives Galactus is almost beside the point. The true stakes lie in whether this family survives itself. In the end, the Fantastic Four First Steps isn't just another superhero flick. It's a cosmic drama, a love letter to pulp sci-fi, and a prelude to something much bigger. It dares to ask, what happens when the universe gives you everything and then asks for it back? And that, dear listeners and viewers, is why you need to see it, feel it, debate it. Is this the beginning of Marvel's redemption, or a celestial tragedy waiting to unfold? I want to hear from you. What do you think? Will Doom rise as a fallen hero? Is Franklin already changing everything from the womb? Tell me your theories, your hopes, your wildest guesses in the comments below. Like if you want more cosmic cinema from Green Ground. Subscribe if you're ready to chart the stars together. And as always, more details are in the description. If you're curious, click there. If you're bold, speak up in the comments. Until next time, this is Alvin. Stay fantastic.